Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa. Only on Coin News Extra TV.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Coin News Extra TV program tagged Tech Well, a program where we talk about everything investment. We are investors and startups meet head to head. So we discuss everything around investment in the startup ecosystem. As usual, I'm your host, Lee. Let's look at what we have today. Today, we're going to be looking at why early stage startups should slow down on VC funding. We could also, when you look at that, you see that VC funding is very, very important. We are not talking about you should not look at funding, but we are looking at why you should slow down on VC funding. So this is what we're going to be discussing today. Remember, we are live across 4 channels. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. So wherever you are joining us from, do well to like and share so that a lot of people will be able to see this video and learn from it. So I'm going to go for a quick break. When we return, we'll be able to look at what we have for today and have the conversation proper. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still Tech West live on Coin News Extra TV. So today we are looking at why early stage startups should slow down on VC funding. We see most especially in the blockchain and fintech ecosystem, we see a lot of funding coming in. Some of the things we're going to be looking at. Let's look at why you should be able to slow down as an early stage startup because there are a lot of challenges, pros and cons with these VCs, what we mean venture capitalists. So there are a lot of the challenges associated with them. But there are options that you can also look at when it comes to raising funds as an early stage startup. So look at investors. What are their attitude when we examine how major investors, a lot of investors behave? There are certain things that is peculiar with every investor. VC, not I'm talking about VCs, venture capitalists now. One thing with venture capitalists, they are there strictly for the money. So they are there for the profit. So a lot of VCs are looking at how am I going to be able to exit this particular investment on time, or what are some of the potential returns when it comes to that. So they don't really care much about, not that they don't care, but they don't really care much about the startups. They are not investing in your person. They are not investing in that particular startup. They are looking at the returns. That's what most VCs are looking at. So what are the returns for them? Why we say you should not be able to look at them at an early stage of your business is because they are going to be able, a lot of them are going to turn you down. Look at why you should be able to stay away. The psychological effect of these VCs turning you down because you have amazing projects, you have amazing innovation. It could be app, it could be web-based platform, it could be even a physical stuff that you are working on, and it's amazing. It has it's gaining traction. But because you are very early, this venture capitalists, I see a lot of startups reaching out to more than 100 VCs, sending code mails and all the rest of them. Some, there are ways they reply with trying to encourage, but they have already turned you down. If you are not able to overcome these challenges, them turning you down, it's going to affect you psychologically. It will look as if what you are doing is not okay. But let's look at other ones. These VCs are looking for when they are going to exit, so they don't really care much about your project. So you'll be able to look at how they behave, these VCs. So being able to understand how they behave, they are always in a hurry to exit. They are looking for what are the possible returns, and they don't even understand. These are another problem. They don't really understand your project because it's still at an infant stage, so they may overlook it. So the right option as an early stage startup, most especially in the fintech of blockchain space, is look at angel investors. I've said this on this show before about how important it is to look towards the direction of angel investors, because most angel investors, as the name sound, are mostly angels indeed, because what they do is they believe in you. Most angel investors don't really invest because they are looking at to cash out, we may say, they are not looking at the returns. Not that they are not looking, but their main priority, most angel investors are, they don't really look at the how when they are going to exit and all the rest of them. But you will not be able to blame the VCs also, because the VCs are raising funds from LPs and all the rest of them to be able to fund this project. So the LPs, they want to make profit for them too. So that's why it's good if you focus on angel investors, because they will be able to. Most angel investors are doing it to contribute to the ecosystem, to or help younger ones that are coming up. Maybe some of them, they are returning this goodwill they may have gotten when they were much more younger, or when they were growing their own business at an early stage. So some of them are looking at your enthusiasm. They look at your enthusiasm. They look at your strength. They look at the zeal that you have for that particular project, and they invest and they believe in you mostly. That's what angels do. They believe in that particular founders. So that's why it's good that you look at their direction. So another thing that we'll look at when it comes to VCs is that VCs are selective, they are picky. So what there is a strategy that most VCs look at. So you may have been sending cold mails to some VCs. So one of the things we discover from our own research and experience is that most of them don't really invest in projects, in startups that have not really gotten investment. So that's an irony. So you are looking for investment and you have not been able to raise before. It's going to be a much more difficult. But it's not that you cannot do it. That's why most of these VCs look at projects that have been invested in before. So either by angels or some other smaller VCs. So they will be able to know that someone has been able to put money in this particular project. What I don't really understand is why many VCs go that route of waiting for who will invest in that particular project before they will be able to commit their money to your project. So when you are going for fundraising, bear that in mind, and that's where these angels come in. Angel investors, they will be the ones that will be able to pull money together for you to be able to get this. And also, if you have a, sometimes we say family and friends. If you are opportune to have family and friends that can be able to pull money together for you to do to build this project before you look at the direction of angels or even VCs, so you'll be able to build it. If you have such a network, is a very good one, because that's a very good one. But I know many people who are building don't really have family and friends that are worthy enough to pull this money. And even if they have, sometimes these family and friends are very much difficult to convince. I know families and relationship varies, but I know most times family and friends are very much difficult to convince sometimes. So they don't really understand, most especially if they are not in your ecosystem. So they may not really understand. So we are making progress on this. I don't want this session to be long base. We'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. I will be able to look at some other things around this topic. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still TechWares live on Coin News Extra TV. We are talking about why early stage startups should slow down on VC funding. And remember that we are broadcasting live across 4 channels, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. So wherever you're joining us from, please do it to like and share. So this live broadcast will be able to reach a lot of people. So let's look at some alternative. I've been able to mention angels as an alternative. So let's look at other alternatives. When we've been able to say, okay, if you're an early stage startup, slow down on VC funding. So let's look at other alternative, and I'm going to be looking at this alternative for blockchain and crypto startups. These are very viable alternatives to raising fund. You could be able to look at if you are building around blockchain or crypto and your project is tokenized. Another way to raise fund is also through selling of token. You'll be able to do ICO. I know ICO is old fashioned. I know, but some projects are still doing ICO. Whatever way you could be able to do, people are doing IDOs and IEO. And so anyone you feel you can look around and be able to raise fund to build your project. ICO is a very good token sales is a very good way because blockchain has really given us our ability to tokenize. So we are looking when you look at the future of tokenization, you see that there is bright future for this industry when it comes to tokenization. We see people tokenizing the real estate. We see people tokenizing different set, even the transport sector. Tokenization is coming up gradually. If some people, it depends on your project. You could also do NFT. NFTs are another alternative if you don't want to go the route of tokenizing. You could also do NFT. So there are platforms that you can host these beautiful NFTs about your project to do that, to sell it and raise money. And it's also NFTs are also a good way to raise fund. Crowdfunding is another way. There are some platforms that can be able to help you host and do some fundraising. So these are some of the ways you could be able to come up and be able to raise money. But if your startup have been able to grow to the extent you are looking at maybe raising something around 2 million, 3 million and above, which you know that it will be difficult to go through this route to raise this money. I know it's very difficult to raise something around $3 million from crowdfunding, but it's possible through ICO and also possible through NFT, but it's not easy. So if you are looking at the amount of money, I know you have been able to build, you have been able to bootstrap your project to this height. So this, I believe, if you're looking at that particular amount, anything in millions of dollars, I believe that's when you'll be able to look the way of VCs, because I know angel investors hardly pull that amount of money in millions. Some angel investors come up with 50, 100, or 200, depending on their capacity. So these are some of the options. But once you know that your project is ripe to be able to face VCs, because one of the challenges with VCs, I forgot to mention earlier, is that when you allow VCs to come in early, when your startup is still at an early stage, these VCs tend to take more of your shares, the shares of the company. So you will not be able to exercise your right because you are diluting your shares. So that's why it's also advisable to avoid the VCs at a very early stage, because they will come and before you know it, you've been able to give away the control of the company. As a founder, it's good that you have a control over your company. So by the time you've been able to sell and you don't have much equity remaining for you as founder or founders, it's going to be a challenge when it comes to decision making for these for your project. So these are some of the reasons I've been able to go through for us, and that's why we've come up with this program. We know we are also trying to help here. I know, and we've been able to be bringing experts who come to bring in their own opinion. I know very in the next or two episodes we'll be able to have guests who are knowledgeable about the startup ecosystem, investment ecosystem, so they will be able to make their own input around this, and that's why we're here. And also, we are trying to expand this particular show. This is still the infant stage of this particular program, Tech West. We have something amazing about this particular program, but as things keep unveiling, you'll be able to see it. And that's why we say you keep on watching us. Do it to join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, to stay up to date about what is happening in the ecosystem, startup investment ecosystem, which this program is all about. So I'm drawing the curtain here. I'm signing out for this particular program. I hope you really enjoyed it and this show was informative. So if you have any suggestion or questions, please do where to whichever platform you're joining us from, do where to drop your comment on the comment section. We'll be able to take them, and we have amazing things lined up for you today. We have a week in view that is coming up by 4 p.m. West African time. We're going to be looking at the top headlines in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech that have happened this week. So don't miss that as well. We'll be streaming across 4 channels as usual. So thank you very much. I'm signing up. I'm signing out. I'm your host, Lee. So I'm encouraging you to stay connected with Coin News Extra TV. So do where to hook up with us across all channels, social media platforms at Coin News Extra TV, so that you'll be able to stay up to date with what is happening in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech. So thank you very much for bringing our time to joining us today. Bye for now. We are coming your way next week. Bye for now.
Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa, only on Coin News Extra TV.